Latter going to end up bald.
Okay.
The helicopter.
Everybody.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Heidi. Welcome.
Hi. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay. I can see you. I can see the puppy too. The puppy's so cute.
I don't have a puppy.
Yeah, Una has a puppy.
Oh, is Una?
I have my two dogs over there in the background. If they make noise, then Ian's going to take over them. But there's Milo in the background.
Hi, Ute.
Oh, they're cute.
Peter, maybe we can help out if you do screen share. You know the button down at the bottom next to the chat room?
There's Richard.
Chat room.
Wow.
Down below at the bottom, there's a row of buttons. Share. Okay, hopefully there's nothing gonna surprise anybody, but share your screen.
Okay. So don't click on share at the bottom thing.
Click on share screen. Do click on it.
Leilani has left. Shall we now start?
Ladies and gentlemen, actors to the stage. Actors to the stage, please. Can you hear me?
No.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Actors to the stage. Actors to the stage.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our production of, what is it? Comedy of Errors?
That's
Comedy
right.
Of Error.
Yes.
Comedy of Errors. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank and the good folks at Pfizer.
Ooh. And Moderna.
And Moderna. Yes.
Let's give a shout out to Moderna. A shout out.
Coming to you live from the Johnson & Johnson Theater in downtown Honolulu.
Oh, God.
Act 1. Scene 1. A hall in Duke Salina's palace. Enter Duke Salinas, Aegeon, jailer, officers, and attendants.
Proceed, Solinus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all.
Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which of late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke to merchants, out well-dealing countrymen, who, wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods. And for the mortal and intestinate jars twixt thy seditious countrymen and us, it hath in solemn synods later been decreed, both by the Syracusans and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay, more, if any born at Ephesus is seen in Syracusan marts and fairs, again, if any Syracusan born come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the duke and disposes unless 1,000 marks be levied, to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount unto 100 marks, and therefore by law thou art condemned to die.
Yet this, my comfort, when your words are done, my woes end likewise with the evening sun.
Well, Syracusan, say, in brief, the cause why thou departed from the native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus.
A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable, yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offense. I'll utter what my sorrows give me leave. In Syracuse was I born, and wed unto a woman, happy but for me, and by me had not our hap been bad. When her I lived in joy, I often made to Epidamnum, till my factor's death, and the great care of goods at random left, drew me from kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old, before herself, almost fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her, following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There had she not been long, but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and, which was strange, the one so like the other, as could not be distinguished but by names. That very hour, in the same self-inn, a meaner woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins, both alike. Those, for her parents were exceedingly poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwillingly, I agreed. Alas, too soon. We came aboard a league from Epidamnum. Had we sailed before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm, but longer did we not retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant, did but convey unto our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death, which through myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping before for what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to seek delays for them and me, and this it was, for other means was none. The sailors sought for safety by our boat, and left the ship, then sinking right to us. My wife, more careful for the latter born, had fastened him unto a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him, one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful to the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end of the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, was carried toward Corinth, as we thought. At length the sun, gazing upon the earth, dispersed those vapors that offended us, and by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far making amain to us. Of Corinth that, of Epidaurus this. But ere they came, oh, let me say no more. Gather the sequel by what went before.
Nay, forward, old man, do not break off so. We may pity, though not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I had not now worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was splitted in the midst, so that in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left to both of us alike, what to delight in, what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind, and in our sight they 3 were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us, and, knowing whom it was their hap to save, gave healthful welcome to their shipwrecked guests, and would have reft their fishers of their prey, had not their bark been very slow of sail. And therefore homeward did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss, that by misfortunes was my life prolonged, to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them thou sorrowest for, do me the favor to dilate at full what have befallen them and thee till now.
My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, so his case was like, reft of his brother, but retained his name, might bear him company in the quest of him, whom whilst I labored of a love to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers have I spent in furthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and coasting homeward came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought, or that any place that harbors men. But here must end the story of my life, and happy were I in my timely death, could all my travels warrant me they live.
Hapless Aegeon, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap. Now trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, which princes would they may not have disannul and disannul, my soul should suit as an advocate for thee. But though thou art judged to the death, and past sentence may not be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement, yet will I favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day to seek thy life in beneficial help, to try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg thou or borrow to make up the sum, and to live. If no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him into thy custody.
I will.
My lord.
Hopeless and helpless doth Aegeon wend, but to procrastinate his lifeless end.
Scene 2, the mart. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse, Dromio of Syracuse, and first merchant.
Therefore, give out to our Ephistodom, lest that your goods too soon be confiscated. This very day a Syracusean merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy out his life, according to the statute of the town, dies ere the weary sun set in the west. There is your money that I had to keep, Antipholus.
Go bear it to the centaur, where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. Within this hour will be dinner time. Till that I'll view the manners of the town, peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine inn. For with long travel I am stiff and weary. Get thee along.
Many a man would take you at your word, and go indeed having so good a mien.
A trusty villain, sir, that very oft, when I am dull with care and melancholy, lightens my humor with his merry jests. What? Will you walk with me about the town, and then go to my inn and dine with me?
I am invited, sir, to contain merchants, of whom I hope to make much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon at 5 o'clock, please you, I'll meet with you upon the mart, and afterward consort you till bedtime. My present business calls me from you now, Antipholus.
Farewell till then. I will go, lose myself, and wander up and down to view the city.
Sir, I commend you to your own content.
He that commends me to mine own content commends me to the thing I cannot get. I to the world am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop, who, falling there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them, unhappy, lose myself. Here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chance thou art returned so soon?
Just a minute. Dromio's entering the Zoom room.
Return so soon. Rather approach too late. Keep on, Burns. The pig wails from the spit. The clock hath struck 12 upon the bell, and my mistress made it one upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broke your fast. That we know what 'tis to fast and to pray and penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir. Tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money that I gave you?
Oh, 6 that I have on Wednesday last to pay the saddler for my mistress Cropper. Well, the saddle had it, sir, I kept it not.
I am not in a sport of humor now. Tell me, and dally not, where is the money? We being strangers here, how darest thou trust so great a charge from thine own custody?
Well, I pray you, Sattler, just there you sit at dinner, from my mistress come to you in post. If I return, I shall be post indeed, but she shall score your fault upon my pate. Methinks your maw, like mine, should be your clock, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
To me, sir? Why, you gave no gold to me.
Come on, Sir Knave, have done your foolishness, and tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge.
Well, my charge was that to fetch you from the mart, home to your home, the Phoenix, to the dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
In what safe place you have bestowed my money, or I shall break that merry sconce of yours that stands on tricks when I am indisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hadst of me?
Well, I have some of the marks of yours upon my pate, some of my mistress' marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you will not bear them patiently.
Thy mistress's marks? What mistress slave hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at the Phoenix, she that doth fest till you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hie you home to dinner.
What? Would thou flout me thus to my face, being forbid? There, take you that, sir knave.
What more do we do, sir? For God's sake, hold your hands. Nay, and you will not, sir. I'll take my heels. Bye.
On my life, by some device or other, the villains will rot of all my money. They say this town is full of cozenage, as nimble juggers that deceive the eye, dark-looking sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters, prating mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. If it proves so, I will be gone the sooner. I'll to the centaur to go seek the slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Act 2, Scene 1, the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Adriana and Luciana.
Neither my husband nor the slave returned, that in such haste I would seek to send his master. Surely, Arsana, it is 2 o'clock.
Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he's somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty then ours be more?
Because their business still lies out a door.
Look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill.
Oh, no, he is the bridle of your will.
There's none but asses will be bridled so.
Why headstrong liberty is lashed with wool. There's nothing situate under heaven's eye, but hath his found in earth, in sea, in sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their male subjects, and at their controls, men more divine, the masters of all these, Lord of the wide world, and while what we sees, endued with intellectual sense and souls of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords.
This servitude makes you to keep unwed.
Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed.
But were you wedded, you would bear some sway.
Ere I learn love, I will practice to obey.
How if your husband starts some other where?
Till he come home again, I would forbear.
Patience unmoved, no marvel though she pause. They can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul, bruised with adversity. We bid be quiet when we hear it cry, but were we burdened with the like weight of pain, as much or more, we should ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience would relieve me. But if thou live to see like right bereft, this fool-baked patience in thee will be left.
Well, I will marry one day, but to try. Here comes your man, now is your husband nigh.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's all 2 hands with me, and that of my 2 ears can witness.
Say, did thou speak with him? Knowst thou his mind?
Aye, he told his mind upon mine ear. Beshrew his hand, I scarce could understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully thou couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly I could too well feel his blows, and withal, so doubtfully I could scarce understand them.
But say, I prithee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, sure my master's horn mad.
Born mad, thou villain?
Well, I mean not cuckold mad, but sure he is stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. "'Tis dinner time," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "You mean doth burn," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Will you come home," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "The pig," quoth I, "is burnt." "My gold," quoth he. "My mistress, sir," quoth I. "Hang up thy mistress. I know thy mistress not. Out on thy mistress."
Quoth who?
Quoth my master. "I know," quoth he, "no house, no wife, no mistress, so that my errand do upon my tongue. I thank him, I bore him whole upon my shoulders, for in conclusion he did beat me there."
Go back again, thou slave, and fetch him home.
Go back again and be new beaten home? For God's sake, send him other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy pate across.
And he will bless that cross with some other beating. Between you, I shall have a holy head.
Hence, prating pheasant, fetch thy master home.
Ow, and I'm round with you as you are round with me, as you with me, that like a football. Oh, do you spurn me thus? You spurn me hence, and he will spurn me hither. If I last in this service, you must not cast me in leather. Bye.
Ay, how impatient knoweth in your face.
His company must do his minions grace, whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Hath homely age the alluring beauty took from my poor cheek, that he hath wasted it? Are my discourses dull, barren my wit? If voluble and sharp discourse be marred, unkindness blunts it more than marble hard. Do they gay ventments his affections bait? It's not my fault he's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by him not ruined? Then is he the ground of my defeatures. My decayed fair, a sunny look of his would soon repair. But too unruly dear, he breaks the pail and feeds from home. Poor I am but his stale.
Self-harming jealousy. Fie, bid it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage otherwhere, or else what lets it but he would be here. Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Would that alone a love he would detain, so he would keep fair quarter with his bed. I see the jewel best enameled will lose his beauty, yet the gold bids still that others touch, and often touching will wear gold. And no man that hath a name, but falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die.
How many fond fools serve mad jealousy?
Scene 2, a public place. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse.
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up, safe at the centaur, and the heedful slave is wandered forth in care to seek me out. By computation and mine host report, I could not speak with Dromio since at first I sent him from the mart. So here he comes. Now, sir, is your merry humor altered? As you love strokes, so jest with me again. You know no centaur, you receive no gold. Your mistress sent to have me home to dinner? My house was at the Phoenix. Wast thou mad that thus so madly thou didst answer me?
What answer, sir, when spake I such a word?
Even now, even here, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence, home to the centaur, with the gold you gave me.
Villain, thou didst deny the gold's receipt, and toldest me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou feltest I was displeased.
I am glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest? I pray you, master, tell me.
Yea, dost thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? Thinkest thou I just? Hold, take thou that and that.
Oh. Hold, sir, for God's sake. Now your jest is earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it me?
Because that I familiarly sometimes do use you for my fool and chat with you. Your sauciness will jest upon my love and make a comment of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolish gnats make sport, but creep in crannies when he hides his beams. If you will jest with me, know my aspect and fashion your demeanor to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce? Call you it? So you would leave battering? I had rather have it ahead, and you use these blows long. I must get a sconce from my head and ensconce it too, or else I shall speak my wit in my shoulders. But I pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Aye, sir, and wherefore? For they shall say, why hath a wherefore?
Why, first for flouting me, and then wherefore for urging it the second time to me.
Why, there ever any man thus beaten out of season, when in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir, for what?
Marry, sir, for this something that you gave me for nothing.
I'll make you amend next to give you nothing for something. But say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, sir, I think the meat wants that I have.
In good time, sir, what's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then 'twill be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you eat none of it,
Your reason?
lest it make you choleric, and purchase me another dry basting.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I durst have denied that before you were so choleric.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself.
Let's hear it.
There is no time for a man to recover his hair that grows bald by nature.
May he not do it by fine and recovery?
Yes, to pay a fine for the periwig and to recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a niggard of hair, being as it is so plentiful an excrement?
Because it is a blessing that he bestows on beasts. And what he hath scanted men in hair, he hath given them in wit.
Why, but there's many a man hath more hair than wit.
Not a man of those but he hath the wit to lose his hair.
Why, thou didst conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit.
The plainer dealer, the sooner lost. Yet he loseth it in a kind jollity.
For what reason?
For two, the sound ones too.
Nay, not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones then.
Nay, not sure in a thing falsing.
Certain ones then.
Name them.
The one, to save the money that he spends in trimming. The other, that at dinner they should not drop in his porridge.
You would all this time have proved there is no time for all things?
Marry, and did, sir. Namely, no time to recover hair lost by nature.
But your reason was not substantial. Why, there is no time to recover.
Thus, I mend it. Time himself is bald, and therefore the world's end will have bald followers.
I knew 'twould be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder?
Ay, Antipholus, look strange and frown. Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana, nor thy wife. The time was once when thou, unsurged, would bow, that never words were music to thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savored in thy taste, unless I spake, or looked, or touched, or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband? Oh, how comes it that thou art then estranged from thyself? Thyself I call it, being strange to me, that undividable, incorporate, am better than thou dear self's better part. Ah, do not tear away thyself from me, for know, my love, as easy mayest thou fall, a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled thence that drop again, without addition or diminishing, as take from me myself, and not me too. How dearly would it touch thee to the quick, should thou but hear I were licentious, and that this body consecrate to thee, by ruffian lust should be contaminate. Wouldst thou not spit at me, and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring, and break it with a deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, and therefore see thou do it. I am possessed with an adulterate blot. My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one, and thou play false, I do digest the poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by the contagion. Keep then fair league, and truce with thy true bed. I live unstained, thou dishonored.
Heed you to me, fair dame, I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk, who every word by all my wit being scanned, want wit in all one word to understand.
My brother, how the world is changed with you. When were you want to use my sister, huh? Thus, she sent for you by Dromio home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me?
By thee. And this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows denied my house for him, me for his wife?
Did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
I, sir, I never saw her till this time.
Villain, thou liest, for even her very words didst thou deliver to me on the Mars.
I never spake with her in all my life.
How can she thus then call us by our names, unless it be by
How
inspiration?
ill agrees it with your gravity to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood? Be it my wrong, you are from me exempt, but wrong not that wrong with more contempt. Come, I will fasten on the sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband, and I a vine, whose weakness, married to thy stronger state, makes me with thy strength to communicate. If aught possess thee from me, it is dross, usurping ivy, briar, or idle moss, who all for want of pruning with intrusion infect thy sap, and live on thy confusion.
To me she speaks, she moves me from her theme. What, was I married to her in my dream? Or sleep I now and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain the offered fallacy.
Romeo, go bid the servants spread for dinner.
Oh, for my beads, I cross me for a sinner. This is the fairyland. Oh, spite of spites. We talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck our breath or pinch us black and blue.
Luciana?
She's frozen.
Why prettest thou to thyself, and answerest not? Thou slug, thou sot.
I am transformed, master. Am I not?
I think thou art in mind, and so am I.
Nay, master, both in mind and in my shape.
Thou hast thine own form.
No, I am an ape.
If thou art changed to aught, 'tis to an ass.
'Tis true, she rides me, and I long for grass. 'Tis so, I am an ass. Or else it could never be, but I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come, come, no longer will I be a fool to put the finger in the eye and weep, whilst man and master laughs my woes to scorn. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today, and shrive you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if any ask you for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister. Dromio, play the porter well.
Am I in earth, in heaven, or in hell? Sleeping or walking, mad or well advised? Known unto these and to myself disguised? I'll say as they say, and preserver so, and in this mist at all adventures go.
Master, shall I be porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your pate.
Come, Antipholus, we dine too late.
Act 3, Scene 1, before the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus, Dromio of Ephesus, Angelo, and Balthazar.
Oh,
Wow.
Good.
but Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife
I think that's me.
Yes.
Of course it is.
You're Dromio of Ephesus,
I don't
I think.
Yeah.
apologize.
Here we go. Yes. Good Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her carcanet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart, and that I beat him and charged him with 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did deny my wife and house. Thou drunkard thou, what didst thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me in the mart, that I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Well, marry, so it doth appear that the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear, I should kick being kicked. And being that past, you should keep from my heels and beware of an ass.
You're sad, Signor Balthazar. Pray God our chair may answer my good will and your good welcome here.
I hold a dainty seat, sir, and you're welcome there.
Signor Balthazar, either it's flesh or fish, the table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Oh, good meat, sir, is common, and that every churl awards.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
Small chair and great welcome makes a merry feast.
Aye, to a niggardly host, and more sparing guest. But though my cates be mean, take them in good part. Better cheer may you have, but not with better heart. But soft, my door is locked. Go bid them let us in.
Maud, Bridget, Marion, Cicely, Gillian, Jin.
Mom, malt horse, capon, coxcomb, idiot, patch. Either get thee from the door or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou conjure for wenches, or that thou callest for such store? When is one too many? Go thee from the door.
What patch has made my own porter? My master stays in the street.
Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on his feet.
Who talks within there? Ho! Open the door.
Right, sir. I'll tell you when, and you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner, I have not dined today.
No, today here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keepest me out of the house that I owe?
The porter this time, sir, and my name is Dromio.
Oh, villain, thou hast stolen my master, and my office, and my name. The one that got me credit, the other nickel blame. If thou hadst been Dromio today in my place, thou wouldst have changed thy place for a name, and thy name for an ass.
The coil is there. Dromio! Who are those at the gate?
Let my master in, loose.
Faith, no, he comes too late, and so tell your master.
Oh, Lord, I must laugh. Have at you with a proverb. Shall I set in my staff?
Have at you with another? That's? When? Can you tell?
If my name be called Luce, thou hast answered him well.
Do you hear, you minion? You'll let us in, I hope.
I thought I have asked you.
And you said no.
So come help. Oh, ow! Well struck. There was a blow for blow.
Oh, baggage. Let me in.
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door hard.
Let him knock till he ache.
You'll cry for this minion if I beat the door down.
What needs all that? And a pair of socks in the town?
Who is that at the door that keeps all this noise?
By my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife, Sir Knave. Go, get you from the door.
Well, if you were a paymaster, this knave would go sore. And he is neither, sir. Now that we're welcome, we would fain have either. Debating whether best we should part or neither. And they stand at the door, master. Bid them welcome him, sir.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say, master, if your garments were thin, your cake is warm within, you stand here in the cold, it would make a man, or there's a buck to be so brought and sold.
Go fetch me something. I'll break up the gate.
break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's pate.
A man may break a word with you, sir, but the words are but wind. Aye, and break it in your face, so he break not behind.
It seems thou wantest breaking. Out upon thee, hind.
Here's too much out upon thee. I pray thee, let me in.
Aye, when fowls have no feathers and fish have no fins.
Well, I'll break in. Go borrow me a crow.
A crow without feathers? Master, mean you so? For a fish without fin, there's a fowl without a feather. If a crow help us in, sirrah, we'll pluck a crow together.
Get thee gone. Fetch me an iron crow.
Oh, have patience, sir. Let it not be so. Here then you war against your reputation and draw against the compass of suspect in the unviolated honor of your wife. What's this? Your long experience with her wisdom, her sober virtue, years of modesty, plead upon her part in some cause to you unknown. And doubt not, sir, but she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, depart in patience, and let us to the Tiger all to dinner. And about her evening come, and come yourself alone, to know the reason of this strange restraint. If by strong hand you offer to break in, and now the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it, and that supposed by the common rout against your yet ungalled estimation, that may with foul intrusion enter in and dwell upon your grave when you are dead. For slander lives upon succession, ever housed where it gives possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild and yet too gentle. There we will dine. This woman that I mean, my wife, but I protest, without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner. And get you home, and fetch the chain, by this I know 'tis made. Bring it, I pray you to the Porpentine, for there the house, that chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife upon mine hostess there. Good sir, make haste, for since mine own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense. Scene 2, the same. Enter Luciana and Antipholus-Syracuse.
Who's that?
And may it be that you have quite forget a husband's office, shall Antipholus, even in the spring of love, thy love springs rot? Shall love in building grow so ruined? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake, use her with more kindness. Or if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. But be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look sweet, speak fair, become disroyalty. A pearl vice like virtue harbinger. Bear a fair presence though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false. What need she be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to taunt with your bed, and let her read it in the looks at broad. Shame hath a bastard fame, well managed. Ill deeds is doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, being compact of credit, that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain, when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what wonder you do hit of mine. Lest in your knowledge and your grace you show not that our earth's wonder more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open to my earthly gross conceit, smothered in errors, feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words' deceit. Against my soul's pure truth, why labor you to make it wander in an unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then, and to your power I'll yield. But if that I am I, then well I know your weeping sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline. Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note, to drown me in thy sister's flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself and I will dote, sped o'er the silver waves thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take them and there lie, and in that glorious supposition think, he gains by death that hath such means to die. Let love, being light, be drowned if she sink.
What, are you mad that you do reason so?
Not mad, but mated. How, I do not know.
It is a fault that spring forth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun, being by.
Gaze where you should, and that will clear your sight.
Oh, as good to wink, sweet love, as look on nights.
Why call you me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself, mine own self's better part. Mine eyes, clear eyes, my dear heart's dearer heart. My food, my fortune, and my sweet hope's aim. My soul, earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister, sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft sir, hold you still. I will fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
Why, how now, Dromio? Where runneth thou so fast?
Do you know me, sir? I am Dromio. Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass. I am a woman's man, and besides myself.
What woman's man? How besides thyself?
Marry, sir, besides myself. I am due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such claims as you would lay your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, would she have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
And what is she?
A very reverent body, aye, such as one as a man may not speak of without he say, Sir Reverence. I have but lean luck in the match, and yet is she a wondrous fat marriage.
How dost thou mean a fat marriage?
Marry, sure, she's the kitchen wench, and all grease, and I know not what use to put her to but to make a lamp of her and run her from by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter if she lives till doomsday. She'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, like my shoe, but her face nothing half so kept clean, for why she sweats. A man may go over her shoes in the grime of it.
That's a fault that water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in grain. Noah's flood could not do it.
What's her name?
Nell, sir. But her name and 3/4, that's an L and 3/4 will not measure her from hip to hip.
Then she bears some breath.
No longer from head to foot than from hip to hip. She's spherical like a globe. Yeah, I could find countries in her.
Well, in what part of her body stands Ireland?
Mary, in her buttocks. I found it out by the bogs.
Where's Scotland?
I found it by barrenness, hard in the palm of her hand.
Where's France?
In her forehead, armed and riveted, making war against her heir.
Where's England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could find no whiteness in them. But I guess it stood in her chin by the salt room that ran between France and it.
Where's Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but I felt it in her hot breath.
Where's America? The Indies?
Oh, sir, upon her nose, all embellished with rubies and carbuncles and sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armadas of carracks to be ballast at her nose.
Where stood Belgium, the Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark of my shoulder, the mole on my neck, the great wart on my left arm, and I was amazed, ran from her as a witch. And I think if my breast had not been made of faith and my heart of steel, she'd have transformed me into a curtailed dog and turned me in the wheel.
Go hie thee presently, close to the road, and if the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone knows us, and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear, a man would run for life, so fly I from her that would be my wife.
There's none but witches do inhabit here, therefore 'tis high time that I were hence. She that doth call me husband, even my soul doth for a wife abhor, but her fair sister, possessed with such a gentle sovereign grace, of such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself. But lest myself be guilty to self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here's the chain. I thought you might have taken it to the porcupine. The chair's unfinished that made me stay thus long.
What is your will that I shall do with this?
Well, please you, sir. I've made it for you.
Made it for me, sir. I spoke it not.
Oh, not once, not twice, but 20 times you have. Go home with it, and please your wife withal. And soon at supper time I'll visit you, and then receive my money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now, for fear you ne'er see chain nor money more.
Oh, you are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
What should I think of this? I cannot tell. But this I think, there's a man is so vain that would refuse so fair an offered chain. I see a man here needs not live by shifts, when in the street he meets such golden gifts. I'll to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. Then his ship put out, then straight away.
Scene 1. A public place. Enter second merchant, Angelo, running off.